Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back with another brand new video. Today's video we are here as always to break down, react and discuss the latest Rangers game. A Rangers game, by the way, that saw us come away with all 3 points and yet again keep that back door shut. Stop me if you've heard me say that before. And you know something, that feeling of deja vu will never ever get boring or tiresome for me to say, because what we're able to sit back and enjoy watching this season from Rangers Football Club is something that Steven Gerrard on his first day on the job talked about wanting to install in this Rangers team and give back to the fans, and that was Ibrox being a fortress, and that is what we have this season, because this is the 13th time a team has came to Ibrox this season. We have won 13 out of 13 and we've only conceded 1 goal. Mission accomplished, Gerrard. Fortress well and truly is here. And I'm saying that knowing full well that this performance right here versus St Johnstone wasn't us at our best. It wasn't a vintage performance, and if you missed the game or if you haven't seen it yet and you sit back and you look at the result and say only 1-0 to Rangers, that is nippy bum time. But I think if you look into the game of football, and yes, we weren't at our sparkling best scoring goals for fun, but we still done more than enough to make this a cricket score where we're just missing that clinical edge in front of goal, or this would have been another glorious display. But at the same time as the spectacle aspect and that enjoyment for me can go away right now, because this is crunch time in the season and all that matters is getting the 3 points. In games like this and results like this, when you aren't at your clinical best but yet you can still pull through and win a game of football and keep the back door shut, that's the type of games and this is the type of results that lift trophies at the end of the season, and this is why we are at where we are right now in the season. So I'm looking at this game just as fondly as I did the 8-0s and the smashings all season long, because now it's just heightened everything. Every pass has got more pressure on it as we get towards the last couple of hurdles, and ladies and gentlemen, that was another one down. That's honestly my gut reaction to that game of football. Job done, on to the next one. 3 points, merci beaucoup. But obviously on these types of videos we like to dive in deeper, and trust me, there is still a lot to talk about. This wasn't a game of football where we had one chance and we scored. There is a lot to break down and discuss, so without any further ado, let's just dive right into this game recap then, shall we? Because it was all about how Rangers started this game and how we set up for this game versus the Johnstone. I think a lot of us were very, very excited when we seen the old 4-2-3-1 being bust back out again. We obviously saw it a couple of weeks ago versus Ross County, and it made its return in this game. Now, Saucy Glenn was rested for this game and dropped out the squad, which is never nice. But I think if you look at the midfield too of Stephen Davis and Ryan Jack, I didn't think either one of them done anything wrong, and that makes me very happy for the potential future of this football club, because I just love this 4-2-3-1. And I know that it's just formations and all that, but I think this type of formation allows Joe Aribo to really shine, man. When he's not got as many shackles in that midfield, when he doesn't need to come all the way back and play a centre midfielder role, he really shows you what he's all about. And honestly, the majority of the notes and everything I took for this game of football was just me going, oh, Joe Aribo, man, oh my god, look what he's done. Oh god, he's got a family, Joe. And yes, if you're wondering, it did have capitals, that's why I shouted that. So it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that the first highlight we want to talk about features your man, Joe Aribo. But once again, it starts with the right foot of Connor Goldson, who on the 12th minute picks out a lovely long through ball. He's been doing that all season, man. What a player he is. It's a fantastic long ball into the box. Joe Aribo, now freed up with this 4-2-3-1, can get further into the box, and he actually headers it in from the striking position down to your man Ryan Kent, who takes a touch, and I think it's in all the way. I'm already up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready to start dancing, but he bends his shot just wide, and you're thinking, he's missed that because I've got him in my fantasy team. But all joking on that aside, the start was what I wanted to see, and it was bright in attacking. But it has to be said, the next talking point in the game of football came in the 18th minute, and it was for the very impressive St Johnstone this season that we spoke a lot about in yesterday's preview video and gave them a lot of credit. And I think if you watched this game of football, you'd have saw why I talked them up so well. They're just a big honest side that, yes, gets stuck in, but they can play a little bit as well. And I think they've done certain parts of this game, especially against Rangers, very, very well. And they kept the pressure on. They made it as difficult as they possibly could. And that's perfectly summarised in the 18th minute when it's a throw-in, which Hollander originally deals with, but then it's bouncing, and Stevie May just Disney give him a moment's peace and ends up knocking it down to another St Johnstone player who is a wee bit narrow from the goal, but it is a shot on target and it forces Alan McGregor into a very smart save with his left boot, and you're thinking, okay, that's the warning sign, Rangers, let's tighten up now. And for the most part they did, ladies and gentlemen, but obviously the next big talking point that a lot of people are jumping all over is going to be the Kamal Roof challenge in the 22nd minute. And for me, when I first seen it, I was like, what? Why they keep showing us there and there again? And then I saw the angle where it shows his foot obviously coming down onto the big St Johnstone player, and to be fair to the big lad who faced St Johnstone, he wasn't rolling about demanding red cards or anything like that. He just kind of took a sore one and it ended up getting up. But I can understand why a lot of people think that could have been a red card, because it could have, especially when I saw it back in the replay. But for me, I just didn't think Kamal Roof's that type of player that he's gone out intentionally to hurt somebody like that. For me, there's no intention in that, and it's very similar to something he done a couple times versus Aberdeen, and once actually versus St Johnstone up in Perth. If you think of the December the 23rd game, I can remember the exact moment he does that in that game as well, where he kind of goes shoulder to shoulder with the player and he stabs his foot into the ground to invite the challenge in so he can get the free kick. He done it versus Aberdeen and he done it versus St Johnstone in the previous game, and that's honestly what I think he's doing here. Do I think he's gone out there to nail one of the defenders? No, for me. I think he's trying to slam his foot down so he can get the contact and win us a free kick, but he's just completely mistimed it, and yes, it was a dangerous one, and yes, it could have been a red card, but I can understand why the referee didn't, because I just didn't think the intent's there to go out and hurt the boy. And I know some people's tweeting me saying, do you think he's going to get banned or anything like that for that incident? But no, honestly, no, there's nothing in that for me. There's no intent, there's no malice to go and hurt the player, so even the SFA can't do anything about that one. So let's get back to some football action then, shall we? Because 10 minutes after the Kamal Roof challenge, we had some more build-up play, and honestly, I'm skipping over moments for Aribo, especially when he was just beating people for fun and winning us free kicks. But the next incident I want to talk about was in the 32nd minute, where he is down on the left-hand side. We throw it to him. The player's originally pulling the jersey off the boy. It could have possibly been a free kick or something like that, but Aribo bounces back up. Then he just kind of, I can't even describe it. He kind of just flicks it in between his feet like that, beats a player and runs by free, just leaving them for dead behind him. Then he whips in a cross. It does get deflected to the back post, or sorry, to the middle of the goal, and Kamal Roof is there. He meets it with a volley. I'm thinking it's 1-0, sorry, at that point, but somehow it goes wide again, and you're thinking, oh well, there's two sitters. This is going to be one of these games. And that worrying, gutting feeling was just reinforced just 8 minutes later, where Joe Aribo once again was just magic. And this time he's doing the right hand side of the park and he cuts inside, leaves the boy for dead, so the guy just kicks him, because that's all they could do for him. He was too clever, too sharp and too technical, so they just resulted to kicking him and Hagi up and down the place. But anyway, it gives us a free kick, and we'll take them, being as good as we are at set pieces this season. And Tavernier whips in an unbelievable ball, man. I can't do this justice. It's right on the money. It literally drops right on the penalty spot, and it drops right to Connor Goldson, free with a chance to finally break the deadlock, but still it just will not go in from 6 yards from Rangers as he hits it with the outside of his foot, and it goes just wide. That, for me, summarises the first half. Fantastic play, clear-cut chances, couldn't score on a brothel. And that's not even a dig either at the players, by the way. That's just football. Sometimes it just will not go in, no matter what is created and who's on the end of it, and we witnessed that in the first 45 minutes. But what I really love being a Rangers fan this season under and watching this Steven Gerrard side is not once did I start to go, oh no, that's going to affect the players. Oh no, this is when the level drops. Oh no, we're going to get stung here. Not once did I go down that rabbit hole that did plague us for so many years, because I've just got so much confidence and belief in this Rangers side, and I can't explain how much that feeling is good, ladies and gentlemen, because I just knew at the second half we would continue to get it. We wouldn't go in our shell, we wouldn't start making mistakes, we would keep plugging away and we would get a goal. No matter what would happen, maybe St Johnstone would score, but I knew we would get on the score sheet eventually in this game, especially at Ibrox. And it came just 7 minutes after the restart in the 52nd minute, where your boy Hagi, who a couple minutes before looked very bright to start the second half off as well, and just got very close to connecting with a volley after Stephen Davis was It's an outside of the fit chip pass with somehow the perfect ability to bend. It was like, remember Wanted? You ever seen Wanted where they bend bullets? Aye, Davis done that with a fit ball, and the ball went up like that and just curled round the boy, and it fell to Hagi, who just missed with a strong enough connection to burst the net. But the boy made it up to us just a couple minutes later, because like we said, in the 52nd minute, Ryan frickin' Jack passes it to your boy Hagi, and he cuts inside, and he just keeps cutting in and in and in, and you know what that boy wants to do. You know he's not going to pass it in or pass it back out. He wants to have a go, because that is what he's been brought into this football club today, and that is what the player he is. He is going to be brave. Will he frustrate the life out of you? Absolutely. But there's no hiding or quitting in that laddie, and he'll just keep plugging away, and it came in the 32nd minute where he cut inside, he drags the defenders, they didn't know where to go. There is so many people in front of him, but he rattles it low and hard with his left foot, and it's absolutely buried like that inside the left-hand side post. Postage stamp, no keeper in the world is saving it, and that is what I love about this laddie. Again, I've seen people say he's frustrating, and remember a couple of months ago people were saying, why did we even sign him? He's fell away for the team. But you look at his assists. More importantly, there's another Hagi moment in this game where he just comes in and he wins us a game of football, because obviously this goal went on to win the game. And you think of the game at Hibs, that was a massive 3 points, but so was this, and that is why we brought a player of Hagi to this football club. Again, he's not going to be a 10 out of 10 every single game, but these moments in a game and him having the balls to cut inside and have a shot for goal is the difference between winning and losing, or draw. But you know exactly what I'm saying. This is why we brought him to the football club, and he continues to be a massive asset to this team. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen, he's only gonna get better. Also, now that I've given enough credit to the fantastic goal that won us a game, can I pull it back and talk about it? It was Ryan Jack's frickin' assist. People, can I talk about that? No? Okay. And after the goal, ladies and gentlemen, the next 8 minutes was just flawless football for us. Some gorgeous play, whipping crosses into the box that I'm sure a lot of yous were sitting there thinking the exact same thing as me. Cedric Itten is going to have a field day when this boy comes on, because I'll be honest with you, I was feeling a wee bit sad for him, because I thought he deserved to start the game of football. And again, I'm happy we won, and we did speak in yesterday's preview video that despite my love for Cedric Itten and the want for him to start, I can understand if we start with Roof up the middle and Hagi on the right and Kent on the left, because that's what we played in the last game versus the Johnstone, and obviously won us the game. But I was praying for Cedric Itten to come into this game, and the amount of bodies and crosses we were putting in, he would have had a field day. And the moment came, ladies and gentlemen, bang on the 65th minute. Kamaru, who again is working his way back up to full fitness, and I think it kind of showed in that performance. But Cedric Itten came on, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen, we stopped crossing it. Oh man, it's just Sayer on the heart. He came on in the 65th minute. Do you know how many times we crossed it after that? Well, I'll tell you, because I counted it twice. No, I'm no kidding. But the frustrations with us going forward as we started to lose that wee bit of intensity, and we stopped whipping as many balls in the box, and we stopped pinning St Johnstone in and around the box, perfectly coincided with them starting to grow in the game and start getting a bit braver as they made their own changes. And I think it did greatly impact the game, because St Johnstone started to create things, and that came in the 70th minute where they have a first shot from range which is easily saved by Alan McGregor. But St Johnstone weren't happy with that long range effort, because just 60 seconds after that they're hunting in packs, they get the ball back, and they get the ball and they drive inside our box, and the boy hits it with his left foot low like a bullet across goal. And I've got to be honest, I think it's in all the way, but somehow Alan McGregor gets his shagger paw at it, and it's such a strong shagger paw that he just stops it dead and doesn't give the St Johnstone, I think it's Chris Kane who's trying to catch up in the rebound. It's a fantastic save, and it's yet another Alan McGregor moment. Go ahead and open your scrapbook, ladies and gentlemen. We've been here many years. Slap that right in there, because that is another massive moment and another game winner from Alan McGregor, who just continues to add more and more to his legendary status, because that wins us this game of football, in my opinion. I can't give the save enough justice. It's fantastically hit, but it's matched perfectly by Alan McGregor. And I'll be honest, when we talked about half-time with me being comfortable and content with the Rangers team, it did start to get a wee bit nippy bum time after that save, because you could see St Johnstone were growing in confidence. But I think that save sparked us a little bit. You could hear Connor Golston starting to bark out orders. You could see him starting to scream and shout at people, and I think his leadership again greatly helped this Rangers team, as for the last 20 minutes of this game they didn't have another chance in the game. That was their chance, and Alan McGregor ripped their heart and soul at them to stop them from scoring the goal, because there's no other goalkeeper in this country that's saving that. But McGregor did, and the defence and the midfield responded in kind for that save, because they didn't give St Johnstone another sniff, and that's how the game ended up petering out. You did have a couple of fantastic challenges by Ryan Jack, and this isn't me just being biased either. By the way, you look at it, 88th minute in around their box, who comes and bosses the boy out the way, wins the ball and then drives us forward? Ryan Jack. In the 90th minute, when they're trying to get the ball long, who just runs and nails the boy at the halfway line, winning the ball cleanly? Ryan Jack. And that's the defensive awareness that we talked about that was missing when we were starting to concede some silly goals. Again, we've not conceded many, but a couple of them you could see we just didn't have that defensive mind, but now we have it, and I think that really frees up Stephen Davis as well, who had a phenomenal game of football. But that was it, ladies and gentlemen. Game, set and match. And it's another game of football which Ryan Jack has played in that we haven't conceded a goal in the league. That is frightening. All season long, no goals conceded when Jacko is in the starting 11. And if you look at that goal and you saw the tackles that we spoke about, and you saw the interceptions, and you saw the way he marshalled people out the way, it's no surprise that we do that when he's in the starting 11. But aye, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm not going to go full CJ Novo 992 and pick Ryan Jack as my man of the match. Now we've obviously discussed the game, this is where we talk about the man of the match, because for me, I know hagi scored the winner and was fantastic at certain points of the game. I know Alan McGregor made that wonderful save, and I know Jacko and Stephen Davis put in two complete midfield performances. You talk about two players in the middle of the park controlling a game. You saw that with them two, but I just have to give it to the guy that I sung the praise for the whole game, because to me, Joe Aribo in this forwards role is unplayable. He really, really is. And he's my man of the match. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is me all done and dusted for today's video. That is my thoughts on the game. That is the old game recap, and that was my man of the match. Now I want to hand the reins over to you guys, because I would love to know what your thoughts and opinions are after yet another win for Rangers and that display that we saw versus St Johnstone. But before we actually finish up today's video, I want to just give my respect, and I want to just give a wee moment at the end of today's video to mention, obviously, Captain Tom, who of course passed away recently. And this guy is the literal hero, right? You look at football players and you say, oh, this guy's my hero and this guy's my hero, and you have heroes that you look up to who play sport and all that, but this man here, Captain Tom, is the definition of a hero during the war and after the war, and he passed away obviously in the last 24 hours. So I just wanted to pay my respects to an absolute legend and the true definition of a hero. And I love the fact that Rangers were wearing black armbands in respect of the man and everything that he gave for all of us to be here and be who we are right now. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is everything in today's video. If you have got involved in the comment section below, I will be speaking to you very, very shortly. But as always, I've been CJ Novo 992. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.